right, well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Tech Executive MBA info session at Grenoble Ecole de Management. We are delighted to have you here today as we introduce our newly launched Tech Executive MBA. And today we'll take a special zoom in on our energy specialization. We'll also have a dedicated Q&A session at the end, so feel free to type your questions directly into the chat, and we will answer them following the presentation. So with some quick introductions, I am Ginny Hinderscheit, and I am the head of marketing for the DBA and the MBA programs. I'm also an expat and alum myself, so happy to answer your questions as well about life in Grenoble. So Chandra?
Yeah, so I'm Chandra Delpont. I'm also an alumni from the MBA program here at GEM. I come from California, so the Silicon Valley in the US. So I landed here in the Silicon Valley in France, just serendipitously. But I am an alumni, but I'm now director of the program. I've been directing the programs for the MBA, EMBA, Tech EMBA, part-time MBA, that we have all of our MBA programs here at GEM for the past couple of years. And so, yeah, and we've got along with us today Karine Sabi, so professor. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chandra. Thank you, Ginny. So I'm not an alumni, but I teach economics at Grenoble Ecole de Management. I'm an associate professor, and my specialization is energy. I did my PhD in Grenoble University, so not that far away from Grenoble Ecole de Management. And you will say, okay, she didn't move that much, but you will understand later on that energy is very important in Grenoble area. And also, before I forget, I'm coordinating a chair entitled Energy for Society. And the aim is to switch from a chair to an energy institute that I will be delighted to manage.
Excellent. We'll definitely like to hear more about that shortly. And then we also have Andrea on the call with us. I don't know if, Andrea, you have a second to introduce yourself? She's part of our wonderful support staff as well. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Jenny. Well, I'm Ala, and I'm excited to be in this webinar. I have been working for GEM on the international areas for many years. I'm also an expert, and I'm very excited about this new Tech EMBA. So thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you, Andrea. And Philippe will be from Tenerife will be joining us shortly. And he'll be able to introduce himself and tell you a little bit about the work that he's also doing with our Tech Executive MBA on energy. So a quick glance at Grenoble Ecole de Management. GEM is consistently ranked among the best business schools globally for its MBA and management programs. It is among the top 1% to hold this triple crown. And triple crown means rankings by AACSB, AMBA, and EQUIS. This is really important and speaks to the excellence of our program. We're also known for our international diversity and our alumni network. The school boasts of a highly diverse student body and faculty with students from over 60 countries and a global alumni network of over 47,000. We also have a very innovative focus. So we emphasize entrepreneurship, digital transformation, sustainability in our curriculum. We are top ranked globally for research. And we are full service business school from bachelor's to PhD. We can also boast of our strong industry connections with top global companies offering excellent internship and job opportunities for our graduates. And not to mention our scenic location located in the heart of the Alps, Grenoble, which is a tech hub for innovation and surrounded by beauty. And just quickly, to understand GEM's full MBA portfolio, we offer 3 MBA programs. So our traditional global MBA is a 10-month intensive MBA, followed by internship and a final management project. This program has been strong for 20 plus years with over 2,300 alumni around the world and is top ranked by QS and the Financial Times. We offer specialized tracks in finance, luxury, entrepreneurship, and business analytics. It's a program known for its hands-on learning, offering live business cases and consultancy projects with industry exposure. is very much a global program with a global experience. So you'll study with international faculty and a diverse student body and benefit from a study trip to Berlin. And this program is designed for career professionals seeking global career growth and leadership opportunities. It is a program focused on leadership through change, which I think we can all agree this is so it's a very important activity right now, I guess, in the world. A look at our executive MBA. Our executive MBA takes those strategic managers and takes them up to the next level. It is a part-time program with 9 intensive seminars designed to help you while you're to be followed while you're maintaining your employment. Also a top-ranked program. I'm going very quickly through these because we're focusing on our Tech Executive MBA today, but just want to stress that we do have an MBA for every senior manager. So if the Tech MBA isn't for you, we also offer an Executive MBA and a Global MBA. So those are things that we can get to you or answer in our Q&A and cover those in greater detail. So that was a quick glance at our 3 MBA programs. So now let's dive into our topic today, the Tech Executive MBA. And I'm going to pass the reins to Chandra.
Great. Thank you so much, Ginny. So obviously, we've had an MBA presence on the market. I literally just welcomed someone from HPE. So he has done 15 years at HP following his MBA graduation. He was actually from the first intake, graduated in 2001. So it was really nice to have that come full circle, and really to understand that, this is the Silicon Valley of France, and he's been at HPE, which was, of course, HP before that here. So he is a strategic business manager for HP. And so when we talk about tech, we really are serious that this is Silicon Valley of France and even of Europe. And we have this tech executive program, which we decided to launch hand in hand with the CEA. And we really wanted to make sure that we had the business fundamentals in there of an MBA. So we are required to have a strict structure of the things that we have to make sure that you see. So you have a global overview of business. So focus especially on strategy, on leadership, on business development. And then, of course, we wanted to make sure that based on our ecosystem, that we're focused also on this tech deep dive. So we really want to understand not just what are the applications of tech, so either in microelectronics or in energy, and those are the 2 specializations that we have at the moment. We may be adding a third coming next year, perhaps around data sciences, but all of it makes sense based on our ecosystem and the network that we have here. As you can see at the bottom, we're talking about the partnerships that we have that support this program. So Tenerdis, which obviously Philippe will speak about soon, ST Microelectronics, so it makes sense. Synopsys, Lean Red, Nano Electronics, and INSTN, which I think Karine can speak a little bit more about later. But it's a program that really addresses the executive need of understanding the transformation from innovation and the different deep technology dives into business development. So really talking about business transformation. It's part-time, so it is very flexible. So we have some full-time, 1 full week here at GEM, where you're going to be obviously networking and talking with the companies that we're mentioning, either in microelectronics or in the energy sector. You can be doing company visits, looking at R&D, fab labs, things like that. So where it makes sense to be here and interacting with the ecosystem, that's when you're going to be here. And then, or for example, for leadership, for negotiations, for other business aspects where you really need to be hands-on face-to-face, that will be the sessions that you're here. And then we go into a part-time where you'll be doing every other week a face-to-face touch point. And in between, you'll be doing asynchronous work. So that means self-study. So talking about exercises, videos, perhaps pre-recordings and other things that are set up by the professor for a certain amount of time, a certain amount of hours, and then you'll be doing a touch point, and you'll be doing this on a cycle. So every 8 weeks, you'll be coming into Grenoble and doing a full week. And the rest of the time, it's a blend between your self-study, which is very flexible. It does not demand that you have to do things on the weekend, but you can use your time as you need. And then touch points, which will be every other week, like 2 hours, 2.5 hours in the evening on a fixed schedule. So it's very easy to work this into your calendar over the 18 weeks that we do have the courses. After that, you have your executive capstone project, which is really your research project. It's individual, it's focused, it's what you would replace your thesis with. So a standard thesis, this is what you're going to be doing. So you do your own research and your own executive summary and your findings, and that will be your executive capstone project. So you can do it in company. You could do it for another company. You can do it on a specific purpose. It's really whatever fits your needs, and obviously the company needs if your company is sponsoring you, for example. It's really for any tech professionals, so a lot of engineers, people who have PhDs, people who work deep dive in the sector, so that we can understand how to go, again, from innovation and from the tech idea into business development.
Great. I guess you probably went over this, but maybe you can just dig into it a little bit more on the
just if people are curious about what does it mean when you're talking about MBA fundamentals and what boxes that we make sure that you've ticked, because you have to have that global strategic overview, understanding the impact, the exterior impact, understanding the inner functionings of a company, and understanding financial decisions, how to make sure and assure project success, shall we say, over the lifetime from the beginning, and accessing funding, understanding investment, and understanding how to budget, etc. So when we talk about the finance aspects of an MBA, of course, that's integrative, and leadership, of course, understanding that you're going to be managing, international teams, or you're going to be working with international partners. So talking about collaboration, which is key, I think, especially when you're talking about innovation. Innovation doesn't happen in a bubble. It usually happens through inspiration and working with external factors, external partners, your ecosystem. I think Karine can talk a lot about collaborating with ecosystems for sure. And of course, understanding research methodologies, both quantitative and quantifiable, qualitative and quantitative, sorry. And you'll be doing that so that you can apply that then to your capstone project. Great. Of course, business development. So we come from understanding the strategy to how we develop our business based on that, understanding how to market innovation, for example, understanding digital transformations and all of the can't speak today, all of the different aspects that we have in our tech ecosystem, shall we say. And we also talk a lot about IP. So when we're talking about tech, we need to talk about IP, safeguarding IP, contracting around IP, negotiating contracts around intangibles, including IP. So we're going to bring on expert speakers from those aspects, absolutely. And then the last thing I think that's very important, of course, was inspiring action. How do you get momentum behind your project? How do you make sure to push it forward and inspire support around it? So not just around your teams, which is very important, but of course the upper management, financing, etc. So again, I mentioned the fact that we have the two specializations at the moment, microelectronics and energy. Again, this was founded with the CEA, who has definite deep dives into both. And perhaps this would be a great time to pass the reins over to Karine to talk a little bit about our specialization in energy. So,
thank you. In my presentation, I forgot to mention, but I think it's quite obvious, unless Chandra and Ginny, I'm not an English native speaker, and so I do speak Franglish. I hope that, by the way, you can understand my presentation. So thanks again, Chandra and Ginny. So why GEM? As I said, Grenoble has an history in energy. And we have, at least among the French institutes, a good bunch of very well-known international institutes on energy that are based in Grenoble, and particularly CEA, which is the former Atomic Energy Center that is now looking as well to other clean energies, formerly the renewable energies. So that could be a bit weird to say that why a business school is dealing with energy issues. It's because of the ecosystem, as Chandra explained, and even in the Grenoble University, where I did my PhD, they have a full lab of economists and specialized in social sciences that are working on energy issues. So that's why it's quite obvious that Grenoble Ecole de Management take also that advantage to have a lab of full permanent professors. We are roughly, I would say, 10 international professors. Some of them are very well known. I would quote Joachim Schleich, for instance, that will teach in that Tech EMBA. A lot of his scientific articles are quoted in some IPCC reports, as well as some other professors. I'm keen as well to say that one of my articles in energy efficiency is quoted in IPCC. So yeah, we have this economist, but not only economists, we have as well Anne-Lorraine Vernet, who is specialized in strategic management in energy. And we are dealing with both quantitative and qualitative analysis on the whole energy supply chain, I would say, from the production to the demand and its strategy, businesses, and acceptability. So that team has been created, I would say, more than 10 years ago, I would say 15 years ago, by the head of Tenardis today that is not able to join today, but that will
Sorry,
normally.
I'm here.
Yeah, I know. But I was talking about Olivier. But I know, Philippe, you're here and you will be the representative of Tenardis. But Olivier at that time was a professor at GEM. And today is at the head of Tenardis. So you see there is a continuum that is quite consistent. So yeah, we have that team, energy team that is working on that issue for 10 to 15 years. And we created some masters that are specialized in energy. We are very happy to open our new MSc next September, entitled Energy Business and Climate Change Strategies. The specialization are quite different. As I said, on the demand side, we have people working on energy efficiency issues, as well as flexibility and demand side management. We have specialized in energy electricity markets that have been working prior to in between the PhD and prior to joining GEM in utility research centers. So they are quite, and I'm talking here about Ibrahim Abada, that will also teach in the frame of that Tech EMBA. So he's an expert in energy markets. And we are also looking at the social acceptance of new technologies, more particularly renewable energies. And in the frame of the chair that I'm heading, we did some very deep case studies about wind, onshore wind, and biogas or AD projects. So we are trying to cover the whole value chain of energy, and we developed and leveraged several third-party funding projects most of the time European project, the former H2020 project. So we have a long history of doing applied research. When talking to energy economics, in any case, it's applied, but we have a strong experience in working with stakeholders and framing policy recommendations. Thanks to that experience, we have been able to create that chair I mentioned. I created and funded this chair in 2019. Where we have key energy players that are our main sponsors, and we co-create the research project with them. So the main idea here is to find an alignment with the scientific interest of the permanent professors at GEM and the real problematic that the energy key players are facing. So that's why, as there is a bullet point, there is a strong partnership in top industry players like Schneider Electric, which is, by the way, one key energy player at GEM, ENGIE, which is one of the second larger energy supplier in France after EDF, for instance, and Air Liquide, who is very well known for instance, in the hydrogen sector. What could I say else? Yeah, the chair is currently ending its second cycle. So we have deeply working on the social acceptance of new renewable energy. And our intention is next year to move forward and to create an institute to put more synergies among the applied research, the ongoing master programs, including this new Tech EMBA, and the involvement and engagement that we have with the stakeholders. So we hope that we can have greater impact and to last a longer time compared to a chair. The Tech EMBA, because Chandra asked me as well, she told me that I may say a word about ENSTN, who is our partner in that Tech EMBA. And after that presentation, I can maybe briefly describe what kind of lectures we intend to give in the frame of the e-Tech EMBA. So basically, the program will be divided by ENSTN professors and GEM professors. The one that I mentioned, basically Joachim Schleich, Ibrahim Abada, Anne-Lorraine Vernet, and we have as well another professor that is specialized in geopolitics, and he will make the crossing of geopolitics, time, climate, and energy issues, and myself. So on the GEM, this is the GEM professors that will teach in this Tech EMBA about all marketing and energy markets. But all the parts about technologies, energy technologies, will be given by ENSTN, that is to say the National Institute for Nuclear Science and Technology. So it's a French public institution of higher education and professional training. It's administered by the French Alternative Energy and Atomic Energy Commission, the CEA I mentioned previously, and it is supervised by the ministries, education, industry, and energy. So they are specialized in education across the nuclear, the low carbon energies. There is a famous laboratory working on solar panels, for instance, and as well on hydrogen and high technology sectors. They have several campuses in Saclay, this is the headquarters, and they have as well a campus in Grenoble, so that's why we are doing this joint program. This is what I could say about ENSTN, and they will provide all the teaching. I think the whole module correspond to, I don't remember, Chandra, the volume, it's 60 hours.
Yeah, approximately 60 hours. Exactly.
60 hours, and this includes visiting in the most representative energy key player in Grenoble and maybe outside Grenoble, that I don't know.
Yeah.
So this is a 60 hours of teaching about the technologies that will be given after the introduction, and maybe Philippe will give a word about the introduction, because this is where we intend to have Tenerdis giving some conferences. And the second biggest module that will be led by GEM, so by the team I mentioned, will be about energy markets. So basically, we will have 3 main lectures. The first one will be on energy economics and markets. Here, the objective is to provide solid knowledge and understanding of the fundamentals of energy economics, and with a strong focus on the power markets and renewable technologies. You will discuss the following aspects, like market design and market failures, the technological specificities of power markets, the ongoing market regulation, and the financials and market risk. I didn't mention this, but of course, as we are based in Grenoble and that we are working a lot on the European energy markets, this will be applied mainly to the European continent. So that lecture will be given by Ibrahim Abada. The second lecture is about managing energy demand and flexibility. So here the objective is to provide a solid understanding of management of energy demand, so including residentials and non-residentials, about energy efficiency, load shifting in private households, but company and transportations, as I said. You will look at technological aspects such as the smart metering, regulatory aspects and policies, and the implication for businesses and business models. And the third component of this module is about stakeholder engagement and social acceptance. So I will share that module with my co-author, Anne-Lorraine Vernet. So we are working a lot currently about building new business models for social acceptance. And we have done a longitudinal case study about biogas in the French sector. But I guess that our recommendations are also valid for non-French countries. So here we are looking at the acceptance that is a significant issue for the development of new clean energy infrastructures, and that is slowing down the energy transition. So we need to apply common constraints and benefits so that everyone can participate and play the same game. And with Anne-Lorraine, we have identified tactics that are targeting the project developers in order to increase the social acceptance. In addition to that, we know that the project developers, that is to say the focal company, cannot implement the whole policies about social acceptance, and this is where the public embodies, the public decision makers should take the follow-up, and that's why we, in addition to the managerial recommendations, we are leading as well to public policy makers' recommendations. So here the main objective is to propose concrete leads to project developers to increase the acceptance of their project. Do you have questions, Chandra, Ginny? I don't know.
That's great. I think people will, but maybe we'll move on now to.
So wait, let me just. I just wanted to add
please.
maybe just one little thing before Philippe started, because it's really nice. Thank you so much, Karine, to talk about the local actors. Schneider obviously is a key actor. One of the MBA is heading that, actually, an MBA alumni. NG, obviously, international player. Air Liquide actually has their innovation and R&D center here in the area, and that's where some of our MBA go to visit to understand innovation. So I think those are kind of some of the things also to explain when we talk about the ecosystem. It's quite large. We even have, for example, hydroelectric here with GE. GE is local with hydroelectric. And with the CEA, as you were talking about, Karine, we're planning on doing a visit of that solar fab lab at the CEA site in the first week of the introduction. as well as looking at the innovation room. So this is interesting at the CEA level to kind of see not only obviously just the focus on energy, but of course what the CEA is doing to work with local collaborators on innovating between not just microelectronics and energy, but elsewhere. So I think this is key, the way that we're working within the ecosystem to do visits, to bring in speakers, and obviously the strength of the local GEM teachers and their experience. And the way that we've kind of come full circle, as you said, with the Olivier Catura, etc. Is important. We're also, for example, when we talk about intangibles and IP, I think that that's key also. We are bringing in an ex-partner who's also an MBA alumni, ex-partner from Ernst & Young, who's focused on IP, who's going to be teaching in the IP course on negotiating intangibles. We have the managing director of IP at Xerox as well, who's part of the program. So I think these are key to make sure to understand who's going to be in front of you and who's going to be leading the knowledge. So I just wanted to make sure to kind of input that as well, because I thought that was a great lead in to also talk about the role of our partners. So that was maybe perhaps a great moment for Philippe to come and talk to us a bit about Tenerdis and what is the role of Tenerdis. So thanks. Sorry, Jenny. Great.
Nope, that's a perfect segue. And with that, we'd love to introduce Philippe Chussel, who can talk to us about Tenerdis and their strong role in the Grenoble ecosystem. So thank you for joining us, Philippe. Please feel free to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about Tenerdis.
All right, great. Can you guys hear me well? Hello?
I think so. It's a bit faint, but I think it'll be okay.
All right, okay, great. Well, thanks for your time. So I'm Philippe Chussel. I'm the director of the development for the cluster Tenerdis. What is Tenerdis? Tenerdis is a key energy transition cluster based in Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes. So you guys have been talking a lot about Grenoble, but obviously there are plenty of companies in Grenoble, but there are plenty others as well in the region. So the region is rich in terms of industry power. So what is our mission? Our mission is to drive innovation and foster collaboration across the energy sector, supporting a wide range of stakeholders from startups and SMEs to large industrial groups, research institutions as well, like we just talked about, CEA, but as well INSA in Lyon, and public authorities as well. We're a major player to help public authorities develop their transition in terms of energy. So Tenerdis plays a central role in the regional ecosystem by supporting multiple strategic energy sectors, including solar energy, hydropower, wind energy, battery technologies and stationary storage systems, electric mobility and charging infrastructures, green gases, hydrogen, of course, everything linked to the district heating and cooling networks, all the smart grids and digital energy system. Those are all the sectors where our companies are playing a key role. In terms of skills and workforce development, Tenerdis also plays a strategic role on behalf of the regional authorities. The cluster conducts in-depth studies to identify current and future skill need within key sectors. So far, 3 sector-specific studies have been completed, one on the hydrogen sector, another one the next year on the green gas sector, and most recently, one on the electric grid-related professions. And these studies respond to a growing demand from industry and institution alike. A new study is even now underway, focusing on skills needs in photovoltaic sector. So beyond the analysis, Tenerdis actively supports the creation and development of innovative training initiatives, such as a new one in the ecosystem of Grenoble, the École de la Batterie, the battery school, which is led by one of the main industrial from the sector, Vercor. The company is called Vercor. Another school is l'École des Gaz Verts, the green gas school, again led by another industrial in the south of the region in Valence. And recently we just launched the Connect project, which is in collaboration with one of its member organizations, which aims to strengthen the link between training, innovation, and industrial needs, linked with the company Schneider Electric. Now, Grenoble Ecole de Management, GEM, is a strategic partner in this dynamic, because it's recognized for its commitment to sustainability and innovation. And GEM is considered by Thénardis as a vital source of talent to support the energy transition and the evolution of business models. So together, Thénardis and GEM contribute to shaping a forward-looking ecosystem where education and innovation and industry move hand in hand toward a sustainable energy future. So what we do, we collect the demand from all those companies, and we bring it along to a partner like GEM, so that they can focus on their current programs and on their future programs, and we're the link in between companies and their future workforce. That is what I had to say. Do you guys have some questions about this? And
That's perfect. Thank you. I think with that, let's go to questions.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone wants to, feel free to enter their questions in the chat. You can get that. Otherwise, I can turn off the allow you to turn on your microphones and your camera. In the meantime, Chandra, maybe you'd like to do a recap of what we heard today.
Yeah, and obviously, if anyone's interested in the microelectronics sector focus, so the specialization in microelectronics as well, that's also interesting. Just in that we've kind of organized it in the same way, where you're going to focus on the MBA fundamentals, the business development from it, so understanding how to transfer, develop and transfer innovation into business. So I think you have these two key segments, and then from that shared base, because you have a lot of commonalities in understanding that, then launching from there into the deep dive and the sector deep dive. So we've tried to interlace those modules so that you can see the impact and you can build off of that. So for example, we look at geopolitics in a general sense, how geopolitics affects business, understanding risk management from the geopolitical aspect. But then, as Karine said, we have Laurent Griot, who's going to come in and talk about specifically the impact of geopolitical factors and the management of that and the consideration of that in energy, or in a separate course, obviously, in microelectronics, so that you really get the attention and the focus and the specificities that are unique to that aspect. So the way that we've organized it is that we have the core courses that are shared, and then of course you have your specializations where you'll be deep diving from that base into the sectors. So understanding, the current tech landscape, or understanding the current markets and strategies. So obviously we talked a bit about how energy is going to be looking at that from the IN-STN aspect, which is, like Karine said, really supported by the CEA, which is the #1 innovation machine, shall we say, in research around the world. So it's really the #1 leader in production of innovation and IP and so on. But then we also have for microelectronics, when we're going to be looking at the deep dive there, we're going to be looking at it a little bit differently, because we're going to be looking really at the application. So we could be looking at RF, RFID, power electronics, cybersecurity, captures, actuators, imagers, micro OLED, silicon photonics, and so on. And other modules. So it's a little bit different on the way that they focus based on the applications, but it's the same type of context. What is the current tech landscape? And again, looking at the clean rooms in this case, the environment, the R&D environment, the fab environment, R&D and fab labs, the machines for production. The challenges, again, are going to be specific. What are the challenges associated for microelectronics? Or like Yahim was talking about, adoption. What are the challenges specific for energy and alternative energy adoption? Or the challenges that we're facing as far as, clean nuclear or nuclear and business development. So what's important again is where we are and how we're able to leverage that in our ecosystem. I think it is key. So just as a general overwrap and how it all functions together, and also the interesting aspect of how we plan on blending the executive MBA with the Tech EMBA. So you're not just in an R&D bubble, but you're going to be challenged and you'll be mixed with, in the core courses, some of the core courses anyway, with the executive MBA group. So it should be a really interesting challenge and to shake up the way that you see things, the way your knowledge base, broaden your vision, and like I say, be challenged by things you hadn't perhaps considered before.
Great, well, thank you. And with that, I want to thank Philippe and Karine for their contributions. I think we can really see that the strength of this executive MBA pulls in this deep dive expertise, a strong focus on leadership to actually manage these complex projects in this complex environment, and as well as the strength of building an extensive and influential network to really make the impact that we need to make. So thank you very much. Feel free to send us an email if you would like to discuss in detail anything about this program.